Dudes, it's Gaz, and welcome back to the Warframe video. Today we're going over This Week in Warframe. I think we're like 8 weeks or something into Nightwave Remix Volume 3. We still got probably about another month or two on this Nightwave, so we'll be talking about the weekly challenges, the Archon hunt, what you can expect this week in Warframe news-wise, and actually there's something you should be aware of if you're someone that does Archon hunts quite often. So we'll be going over that and all the weekly offerings and things of that nature. So if you enjoy these videos, we do them every week. We also will be doing a live stream of the Archon hunt. You can spend channel points and stuff like that to see maybe I'll get the shard or not. Keep in mind, they are adding a pity system to these Archon shard Tau shards in the near future, but we don't know when that update will be. So there's a potential you could maybe even waste your Archon pity system because DE didn't tell us about the update far enough in advance. So keep that in mind. I'll have a video on that later this week. So first weekly we have here, we have Teshin with a Zaw ribbon. Not worth it if you ask me. 75 steel essence for this. These are not expensive ribbons at all. Alongside kit gun ribbons. Those are both like basically worth nothing nowadays because we only have so many Zaws and kit guns, and the ribbons feel like they drop just as frequently as everything else that has more weapons to choose from. Okay, these are all not great choices. We'll go with this. Now, as far as the Archon hunt, I believe there is 2 Azure shards, which is blue, you know, like tank stats, basically. Well, as far as the Archon hunt itself, it's going to be a blue shard, and I believe Chipper is going to have a blue shard, too. So we got the blue Archon hunt, the Owl, one of the more annoying ones, in my opinion. We got Sabotage, Excavation, and the final boss fight against the Owl. So, Sabotage, Excavation. The Sabotage will probably go really fast. The Excavation will be a little bit slower. And I got Baruch Power Strength, so that's pretty nice. Alright, moving on to the weekly call mission. Remember, if you do not complete the call mission, guys, if you're like, oh, I do not like call missions at all, I'm not going to do it, I'm going to play the system, you can't play the system. If you want to move on to the next call mission, you have to beat the call mission that you're currently on. Now, you don't need to do all the challenges that you're currently on, but as long as you get the completion, it will move to the next week. So keep that in mind. You can't just be like, I want to just skip the really long one, because one of the call missions is a lot longer than the other 2, so keep that in mind. But for me, Sneaky Sabotage is the quickest one, and our challenges are going to be Deathless, complete it without dying or becoming veiled. Blow it up good, get 10 grenade kills, pretty straightforward and easy. There's a lot of MOAs that spawn at the end of this one, so they should be grouped up relatively nicely. But also keep in mind, you're getting a plasma orbital laser cannon. You need to make sure you're getting kills with grenades, not the orbital laser. Remove 5 veils using the Veil Breaker. Remember, there are no Grenier in this one. It will only be the Fortuna individuals that are mind controlled by the Narmer Veil Breaker. So you have to use that on those guys. They're hidden in side rooms and stuff too, so keep an eye out. Freeze the Arachnoid 2 times. This is involving these I guess freezing buckets, I guess I'd call it, in the boss room. So shoot one of them, freeze the Arachnoid, get the other one, freeze the Arachnoid. You can actually, I believe you can freeze it while it's already frozen and it will count. So just shoot the exploding barrels, basically. Collect 5 gene stamps. This one does have Q in progress, but yeah, a little bit of an annoying one. You have to check the side rooms and all that, and check the really far corners of the map. But yeah, remember, this has cumulative progress, so if you get 3 on your first run, and you beat it without finding the last 2, you can technically reload in, get those last 2, then abort the mission. Aborting the mission will give you the progress, so don't worry about that. And then get 5 kills within 5 seconds. Very straightforward if you use that plasma blaster at the end of the mission. So, a relatively easy week, I'd say. Nothing where it's like, oh, go find the passcodes in the back corner of this gigantic map. And yes, we do have an extra blue shard at Ticker. So remember that we will be getting a pity system sometime this month. So until DE tells us, you might want to be a little bit cautious with Archon hunts because you could potentially waste your pity multiplier for 1 week. As far as the Nightwave challenges, I know a lot of people don't really even care about these anymore, but I'm going to just go over them quickly anyway. We've got the still bugged out weekly challenge of hijack a cruise ship from the enemy. As you can see right here, it's a weekly. It's supposed to give you 4,500 rep like these other ones, but it only gives you 1,500 rep. How has this not been fixed yet, DE? This has been in the game for over a month like this. I guess you just have other things to work on. That's the first weekly. It might look like it gives you daily rep, but it's a weekly. Hijack a cruise ship from enemy in railjack. I usually just blow them up instantly, so pretty annoying challenge, honestly. Just board the ship, destroy the pilot, and then just hijack it from them. Complete 6 perfect animal captures in the Orb Valis. Not really worth it to me, if you ask me. But if you want to go animal hunting, Get Ivara's Sleep Arrow, get some lures, and go have the time of your life. 6 rare gems or ore in the Plains of Eidolon. Pretty straightforward there. There's lots of caves. They have tons of gems. I believe one called Hex Stiletto. The cave there, I always go there to mine, and I get tons of stuff. So pretty straightforward. It can work for blue ore or rather blue gems or red ore. Both of those veins will work for this. Kill 100 enemies with a necromech. Now, if you don't have a necromech and you want to get this one done really badly, there are technically like destroyed necromechs you can pilot on Deimos, but it's going to be a lot easier if you just have your own necromech and just go out there and like maybe like an isolation vault or something, or go into a railjack survival if you really, really are desperate for it and get a bunch of kills with the necromech. Also technically works on Lua Conjunction Survival. Complete 3 rescue missions, pretty straightforward. Make sure it's a rescue mission when you click on it. And then we have, so this is an Elite Weekly. Free 1 captured Solaris using a Granum Crown. If you don't know what this means, basically those treasurer enemies that spawn in Corpus missions, they'll drop this coin on the ground if you ever have that happen before. Yeah, apparently that's an Elite Weekly to save one of the guys hidden inside the Corpus missions with a Granum Crown. Okay, that is extremely simple. I don't think that should be an Elite Weekly, honestly. They could honestly just swap, like... dude, the Elite Weekly for the Conservationist makes more sense in my opinion. But other one is complete 3 sorties. Remember, this will take 3 different days. Although maybe the Archon sortie will count. You can get it done in 2 days if you didn't do your Archon sortie yet. So you can do the Archon sortie, the normal sortie, and the sortie from the next day. I don't know. I haven't tried the Archon sortie for this, but I'll try it tonight. As far as Cred offerings, evergreen stuff at the top. We got helmets down here. Caliban Cranion helmet. Look at these crafting requirements. Pretty insane. But it's going to really be up to you. They have the Gauss helmet. Gauss is a pretty good helmet. It's going to really be up to you if you want these or not. As far as aura mods, we got EMP Aura, Enemy Radar, Deadeye, and Holster Amp. As far as what I'd recommend to you, I'd say Enemy Radar is nice to have to see where the enemies are through walls, and Holster Amp could be nice in some niche situations of, like getting increased damage when you change weapons. You got Wolf Beacons this week, which will help you get the Wolf Sledge. If you don't have that, a relatively expensive item to sell or buy, so maybe consider buying those. You have some extra Nightwave creds. And yeah, the rest of this stuff is, we got 2 things of Mastery Fodder, Heat Sword and the Dark Sword, just basically completely Mastery Fodder. And for PvP augments, Purging Slash for Excalibur, Recharge Barrier for Volt, and Rumbled for Atlas. So I don't really think I'd recommend any of these, but yeah, I would recommend Enemy Radar, and I would recommend Wolf Beacons if you need that stuff still. Alright, so let's talk about the upcoming week in Warframe, and we're going to go look at our invigorations in the back of the ship. Reminder, if you want to get Helminth and the invigoration segment, you can technically buy them from the market, or you can get them from grinding on Deimos to rank 3 and 5 for the Helminth and for the invigorations. Alright, looks like we got some decent frame choices this week. But like I said, we're basically just waiting for Citrine's last wish. They said February, but I wasn't super confident in their words on February because Citrine's abilities aren't even designed yet. So yeah, we'll see what we have. Increased ability strength for Protea and 25% increased plus 25 heal rate. That's a very nice invigoration. Even potentially override potential. I can override this into another frame that I want to put 200% strength on. But yeah, Protea with a bunch of strength. Going to be crazy for dispensary. Going to buff the heat turrets a ton. Going to give you ridiculous slash procs from her grenades and her shield nades. So very nice there. Don't forget also, Protea's passive is increased power strength every 4th ability cast. So that would stack with this and give me like obscene amounts of power strength, like nearly 1,000 in some situations. So crazy stuff there. Primary crit chance and reload speed for Mirage. Wow, that's a good one for Mirage actually. A weapon focused frame, use like multiple rocket launchers or whatever, get increased crit chance. I'll probably end up using this one. And if I do some arbitrations, there you go. Great for arbitrations as well. And then increased range and increased parkour velocity for Ash. Wow, these are 3 good invigorations this week. 2 good ability stat ones, and a really nice Mirage one. So I'm very happy with these. And like I said, these require rank 5 with Deimos to unlock this. But yeah, you're not really going to be getting much this week as far as news from DE. Reminder, it's 5 years since they removed raids temporarily, so we could really use some of that Deviri info, DE, or like basically just throw us a bone over here, man. The player numbers are relatively good, actually, but, a lot of veteran players are like, bruh. Just like, bruh. We've said so much at this point, we're sick of saying stuff. Just please fix. Either way, guys, hope you found this video fun and helpful. I will see you live on stream very, very shortly, and we'll do the Archon hunt and things of that nature. So, Hope that you had having a good time, and I'll see you next time. Peace.